Well, thank you again for staying with us on your ultimate news and current affairs program on television this morning on ITV. Of course, we're still, more or less basking in the seeming negative euphoria of the hashtag #EndSARS protest, and each time you play those teasers, a constant reminder of what the movement stood for, even though somewhere along the line there was a derailment, but we went out to ensure that the key challenges bedeviling the country are given adequate attention. So far so good. Looks like something is being done in that regard, but we hope that it is accelerated so that at the end of the day we won't have a repeat of it at all. Well, in the year 2020, at the beginning, we saw the upsurge of the COVID-19 pandemic that took the world by storm. As we speak, the global economy is yet to recover. As a matter of fact, I read this morning that over 438 MDAs in Nigeria can't pay salaries. I'll be comfortable to say that's certainly not unconnected with the economic crunch associated with COVID-19. In other climes, the same challenge economically is confronting them. But while they have the capacity to respond, we're not so lucky. But we hope that things will be adequately addressed in the days to come, weeks to come, before the year comes to a close. Well, for some of the latest statistics, you see that on your screen just now. My PD will do justice to that. We just want to show you some of the statistics on the COVID-19 with Nigeria. You have confirmed cases 62,853, and then the number of recovered 58,675, and then number of deaths 1,144. In recent time, we've seen a decline in these data, but we are being warned now there could be a possible spike again if we do not adhere to the protocols, the safety protocols that were given to us by the NCDC. So in today's program, we're looking at COVID-19 pandemic with the new projections. But as you know, before you can make sense of a particular situation, you need to look at the history, you need to look at where we are today, and then before you can talk about the future. I'm joined now by two scientists. I'd like to thank very specially from Novena University, Professor Cyril Otoikian. He's been with us all the days and weeks in our conversations on the COVID-19 pandemic. And some of the perspective that he has brought to bear in our conversations have actually come out to be true. So, Prof, thank you again for honoring our invitation. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
We also have with us Reverend Colonel Timothy Ighodalo. He's a researcher and a technical education expert, and is also very vast in analysis on issues that relates to COVID-19. Reverend Colonel Ighodalo, thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you for having me. Okay,
let me begin with Professor Cyril. Prof, when we started our first conversation here, it triggered a global reaction, so to speak. And for example, you started here by telling us that the COVID-19 is not a virus, that it is a non-living thing that was man-made. That has been established in the days leading to where we are today. Let's just do a simple retrospection by looking at some of the issues that were raised as it relates to COVID-19. Somehow, we didn't really see them manifest as much as were predicted. Can you take us through that?
It's okay. Thank you very much. Well, if we look back a little bit to the beginning, when the whole world was charged up, I think we had the opportunity to make one or two statements. And like you have rightly said, thank God as at today, most of the statements we made here has been proved right. Because one, I remember I mentioned that there is no way any disease condition will just appear that will overwhelm the whole human population. It's not possible. And when the COVID-19 issue was declared, I think it was based on certain principles here and there, and they were trying to project them And there were a lot of shortcomings in most of those principles that they were dragging. And we picked them up there, one after the other, and we're able to project what will happen. You know, I told you here, Sonny Dew, I said, let everybody relax. Gradually, we are going to forget about it, and normalcy will come back. And you won't see anything like those dead bodies in the street of Africa will never occur, because virus per se does not exist. They don't. Even when we were told that scientists were saying they are natural, they are living things, I said, how can virus be a living thing? And in the past we have had records of viral outbreak. How did people survive from it? Because if viruses are living things and they live with humans, a single strike of virus will wipe away every other living thing on earth. I mentioned it here. And I said there is no need for people to panic over COVID-19 because it does not have any scientific basis for the threat they are lashing out to the whole world. It just planned work. And I have read series of articles. Even the word pandemic has been changed to plandemic and all that. And we have seen a lot of things opening up since then. And we are still here, still living. This morning I came from my home through one or two streets to get to this place. Yes. From then till now, we have not seen any streets in Africa littered by dead bodies.
But the same cannot be said of the Western world, Europe and America, for example.
Let me tell you that all humans are same, whether black or white. And I mentioned it the first day I was here, that even when you are looking at developed countries, disease conditions are same. Human approach to it is what differs in terms of what technicalities or what approach, what scientific approach are you exposing towards bringing solution to what that problem is, health-wise. So if you look at the developed world and somebody is telling you that people are dying of COVID-19 in America, people are dying of COVID-19, it's all nonsense. There is no scientific basis to it. People have been dying. I have mentioned it severally that people, even before COVID-19, people have been dying. During COVID-19, people die. And after COVID-19, people will die. Because life has a beginning and it has an end. And that is, I remember I mentioned something about characteristics of living things. Yeah. That there is beginning and there is an end to life. So whatever conditions that comes in between is classified as environmental. And a lot of principles that were dragged into COVID-19 were genetics. And thank God I am a professor of genetics. And I mentioned it here that I stand to be challenged across the world by any person, any scientist across the world. Challenge me over COVID-19. And let's discuss it and let's see how far you can go. Now we have seen that we are gradually coming back to normal. If I ask you as a journalist, what has been discovered that is different from what we have mentioned here? Nothing about COVID-19. There's nothing new. There's even nothing old. It remains the way it is. More of political applications than basic science. Have you seen any person in the street of Nigeria dying? There have been a lot of protests within the past few days, and you see a lot of mixture of people coming together, embracing each other, handshake and all that was suspended and all that. There were a lot of it. Outside those who fell to the bullet, did you see any person who collapsed and they said it was COVID-19 that killed the person during the protest that lasted 4 weeks? And we see quite huge numbers of children, adults, youths, even at the gate of University of Benin, very close to this place. How many of them were picked and they discovered that it was COVID-19 that killed them? Interaction.
Okay, let me pause you there. Reverend Kano Igodaro, yes. What are your perspectives on some of these issues that trailed the COVID-19 pandemic? Some say, well, it's a myth. Some say it's a man-made virus. Some say it's just politics. Some say it was a platform created by the powers that be in the world to control the world, to depopulate the world, and to manipulate the world economy to their advantage. Because in reality, while some parts of the world or some people became poorer, some of these guys became wealthier in the tunes of billions of dollars. What are your thoughts?
I want to say one thing. You see that human activity, it has no standard mode of operation. When you have a motor car, it has a standard mode of operation. So when you meet that standard, it will operate. But human beings have no standard mode of operation because of choice. You can give a man any, say, give me 500 naira, I will go and do the job. You give him 500 naira, he will not do the job. So those are what those scientists didn't bring into the situation. Now, if you look at how it came, it started from somewhere. The next thing is the whole world. They say it's epidemic. From there, we now move to pandemic. So you see that these things were properly planned and executed. But they made a mistake. Now, let me give you an example. If you have chicken in your house that are in your compound, and you go and buy another one from the market and introduce it to them, they will resent it. They will not take it in like that. They will go again. They can even fight it. They want to exterminate it. So when you create a virus in the laboratory, and the laboratory condition, it will exhibit certain characteristics, which you know, and say, okay, when it goes down into the world, these characteristics going to exhibit. You fail to take into consideration that laboratory condition is different from the natural condition. There are so many things in it that you do not know. I have taken time to study the scriptures, and I've seen that the scripture will not allow science to make the definitions alone. We will not allow it. We will take science definition and we will redefine it in scriptural definition so that things are put in their proper perspective. Now, you listen. When the atomic bomb was dropped in Hiroshima, many people died, but there were survivors in that atomic bomb. They went further. The first animal they discovered that were alive were cockroach. Cockroach was still around in Hiroshima. So the atomic bomb didn't kill this one. But those who propounded it, who developed that bomb, think that is a leveler. Nothing will remain. There were even buildings who withstood atomic bomb. Not that they were bunkers. They were open buildings like that. So therefore, we come to this conclusion. Now, having seen what has been said in Africa, that thing will not prosper. AIDS came. They are targeted at Africa. This continent that we have, that has the highest world natural resources. And the people that are populating it, they have leaders who cannot think. Because of that, they want to take advantage. Anything goes. In order for you to be sustained as an African leader, you must succumb to the hypocrisy of the West. When you succumb, they begin to prop you. But when you say no, you will not survive. Look at all the leaders that have said no to Western nations. What happened to them? Look at Nigeria. Murtala Mohammed went to Angola and told them that it is time for Africa to take their destiny in their hand. What happened to him? Did it last one more year? That was the end of him. That's what is happening. So if our leader can stand, and with God giving us provisions, the nature that God has given to us, it will not happen. Now, Ebola came. They rushed it to Africa. The man who brought it to Nigeria is connected to the West. But fortunately, they didn't know that nature will fight back. You see, when disease enters into your body, the nature will fight it. They will not take it in like that. They will not allow it to thrive. It will fight it back and stop it. That is how it is. But you see, when people are making alcohol, that's why sometimes we tell them, don't drink alcohol that is not natural. You don't assess things from what you know. When somebody is telling you this is what is going to happen, you will now, from your own, what you know, you assess that person. You are likely to make error. Because you are not the source and the end of knowledge. Knowledge is in a state of perpetual motion. So when you get that now, you have to open your mind to new things. If not, you will be soon obsolete. That is what is happening to this pandemic. Now, having failed, they said there's a second phase, and we are waiting for it. That second phase is going to end in Nigeria, prolonging people's lives. Instead of 80, that the scriptures say for the disobedient, but the obedient will be 120. You are going to see it because nature will fight. The spirit will fight. You see, this Africa that we are now, we are not the author of that evil thing. AIDS, Ebola, now COVID-19. They are coming into Africa. We are not the genesis. Look at the history. They say AIDS is from monkey. In the village, we used to go and look for monkey. Why do we look for monkey? It's a source of food. 2, If you don't allow monkey, we finish your farm. Particularly you have corn farm. They will eat it and you have nothing that. So we wait for it. When we are able to kill them, is the head me I normally eat. Nothing happened. I'm still hale and hearty. Then somebody just come from nowhere and say monkey brought AIDS. Then all of us zip up. Nothing happened. We have more children. The population overshooting. The university cannot even cope. Prof is here. They cannot admit the people we are sending to them. So we are creating more technical colleges, skill acquisition center, creating other channels by which those who went to university and those who did not go, they will all meet apart at the peak of their career, so that no one will be able to discriminate against that. That's what we are doing. So 8 failed. They now came with this very one. This one has already failed. They now say, oh, there's going to be a second phase. The Benin says, when Okwerankwiri have carried wood, he will use his head to carry it. They came here and removed all their people. And then he went to go and kill them over there. So we thank God for everything. So we are not going to listen to such a thing. And our government have given us directive. Wear face mask, we will wear. Wash our hand every day, we will wash. Have our bath every time, we will wash. Then when people are coughing, we have in Benin or in Edo, we have so many medicine for cough. Let our people begin to drink it when they have cough. It will exterminate COVID-19.
Okay. Thank you very much, Reverend Colonel Timothy Igodaro. Always very exciting when you have people like this in the studio to interact with on a subject that is a very, very interesting one. Okay. Where we are now is the projection for a new wave. Some countries have already started locking down. In UK, I think in France, and then in Spain, and interestingly, the US election is tomorrow. We had an election in Edo State. I mean, there were a lot of campaigns, a lot of interaction and all of that. What is the basis for this projection of a new strain or of a new spike in COVID-19? And how plausible is this within the context and ambit of the conversations we've had over the years?
Sonny Duke, let me just advise something here. Find time to replay back all our recordings here on COVID-19 and follow it up. And you discover that as they were planning their own, we here, me in particular, I was giving my own plans to counter whatever they were planning in terms of trying to destroy human race with a virus that does not exist. And I remember I mentioned it here also, that we should be watchful that there will be another one coming very soon. There will be another lockdown. There will be another procedures that they will bring. It must continue. I told the world that it's a process of making money. So it must continue. As far as human beings are living and they are into business, then there must be continuity in whatever they are doing. Let's take it for example. I don't want to mention specifically, but we know that there are companies that are specifically attached to when viral conditions are declared. Because they are there to prepare vaccines, they are there to prepare different drugs that they will recommend for the people. Fine, the first phase has come and gone. Some countries are still saying no, they are not out of that first phase yet. Me, I'm already at the end point because I'm waiting for them to meet me at the end point. So now they have shifted away from the first point, they have gotten to the second point. I remember I predicted it that there will be another one. Fine, let's look at the second point. Remember that of recent, there are a lot of records of people taking vaccine because they have started trying vaccines. And I asked a question then. I said, how can you get a vaccine when there is no cure? How can you even get a cure for something you have not diagnosed? You have not been able to isolate. You have not identified it. There is no genetic basis of that entity you want to tackle. So the vaccine has come. People are trying it. And I remember I mentioned it here. Let everybody reject that vaccine. Because if you take that vaccine, then you are taking a virus in. And you will die. And we have seen several reports of people dying from the vaccine trials. And a lot of countries are already stampeding that process and keeping it aside. It will not work. There is nothing like vaccine. And there is nothing like COVID-19 as an entity. It does not exist anywhere.
Are you saying the virus doesn't exist?
The virus COVID-19 does not exist.
So what's killing
because
people?
there is no scientific basis to its face. When I mean face, if you look at gonorrhea, for example, you look at a bacteria. Is it not? There are other ailments. You are able to identify them in scientific procedure. If I ask you now, Sonny Duke, am I Reverend Father that is here? I say, okay, fine. Across the whole world, what have scientists been able to say categorically clear that this is what COVID-19 is? Is there any? Up to now? No, I predicted it. I say even at the end point, when we will finally get out of COVID-19, finally, if you ask any person, there will be nobody who will stand right to say, I want to describe how it looks like. No. So we are still there, and the second phase is coming. In that second phase, it's all about making money. Forget it. It's about making money. Let's tell ourselves the truth. If we tell ourselves the truth, then things are easily resolved. Because it's only truth. I have mentioned here that it's only true that they said we make everybody free. Is it not?
Yeah.
Only truth will make us free. So if we accept that truth and we face it clearly, then you discover that everybody is safe. Sonny Duke, let me tell you that across the whole world, whoever has died, there is nobody that they will show me categorically clear what is COVID-19 in any person that have died, that they are claiming to COVID death. No way. So what has suddenly happened to COVID-19? Let's come back to Benin, for example. Let's come back to our state, Edo State. What has happened to COVID-19? Why has the death stopped all of it? Sorry. If you show me the statistics of death of COVID-19 for the past few weeks now, you will discover that if you compare it to the beginning, there is difference. Because death has been eliminated. So why did they eliminate death? Because they have succeeded in creating the fear they want to create. That's all. Nothing else. There is nothing they have shown as COVID-19. Nothing. Entity, COVID-19, you identify it. I'm a genetist. And I have told them, challenge me anywhere. Show me the genetic combinations that arrive at COVID-19 as at the beginning. Did they not tell us that it was a virus? Today, what are they combating? Is it not flu? Is flu a virus? So have they not failed? Like he exactly said, they will come. Even the Bible said they will come and they will fail and they will continue to fail. So from virus, they have shifted to flu. From flu, they will shift to bacteria. From bacteria, they will shift to, we are trying to still identify it. And it will gradually end. I told you, I said, at the end point, we will re-examine it. Where is the drug? No curative drug, no identity of what we have been chasing and has been chasing us, no scientific basis to it, no pharmaceutical recommendations or findings to cure it. No, because why? It lacks that truth. COVID-19 lacks truth, and it cannot exist, and it cannot sustain. And that is why it's failing. So if they say second phase is coming, like he has rightly said, we are waiting. We waited for them. They came on us. They declared it. We were here. We were sustaining our argument. We have conquered the first. We have won them in the first phase. We will win them in the second phase, and we will win them in the third phase and the final phase to come. Because why? They came on a falsehood. No truth at all. Can you tell me that something just came from nowhere, and when you breathe it in, you die? There are symptoms that will come, and this will come, this one will go, this one will come again as secondary. Then at the end of the day, there is no cure, there is nothing. We can't have handshake. You can't greet your brother. When you now look at yourselves as human beings, you see yourselves as virus. They only wanted to create fear. And I mentioned it here, that everything about COVID-19 pandemic was creating fear to succeed in marketing whatever they want to market. And it has come, and people have been following it, because I believe that because of the challenges we have given to them as scientists, and which gave some persons that opportunity to now sit down to rethink about it, they could not conquer the world like the way they have been conquering the world before. Virus is a business entity. They use it to trade and bring in vaccines. So why would they say all the vaccines and every country they have tried the vaccine so far is killing people? So why will a vaccine kill people? Why? When it's supposed to be a solution. And before you get vaccine, you must get treatment. So out of that treatment, then you get the response of that virus to the treatment. Then you develop a vaccine. So why will vaccine now kill people? And they have forgotten that they told us that that vaccine is coming as a solution. Gone are those days when scientists will just come out and postulate stupid ideas and put the whole world into a standstill, and nobody will say anything about it. And that is why some of us have come out to challenge them point blank that that business will no more continue. It does not have a stay again any longer, because we will come out to continue to challenge them. Have you not seen markets being closed from schools now, going back to normal market locations? Students are coming back to school, same location. What has happened to those locations? Nothing, basically nothing. Nothing.
Okay, Reverend, let me come to you.
Okay.
There were a lot of analysis given to COVID-19.
Yes.
Some were dubbed conspiracy theories.
Yes.
What are your thoughts? I mean, looking back to how those theories came and what those theories showed to us as far as COVID-19 is concerned.
I want to look at the scientific postulation that they gave not too long. That human beings, we have genes, and those genes are made up of DNA. Those DNA is what we call deoxyribonucleic acid. Now, they are now saying the virus has its own DNA. And what it's now doing now is to cut the human DNA and then implant itself into it. That is one of the things they are saying. The second one is this, that when you have this virus, the body defensive mechanism will trigger on and trying to attack that virus. But the virus will also send a signal that will confuse our defensive mechanism. Instead of attacking DNA, they will be attacking other things. Then our body now respond that no, anything they see that is not from the body, they attack. In the process, there was clogging, and so blood could not flow through the veins. And because of that, that was responsible for 30% of the death. Not because of the virus now, because blood could not flow, because of the overwhelming reaction of the defensive mechanism, the phagocytes of the body, how they reacted. So all this one they postulated. I want to tell you, you are a veteran journalist. Now listen and follow closely. In malaria, we heard in this town or in this country that chloroquine is no more effective. It's no more good. It doesn't cure malaria. It doesn't do this. Then they now brought so many types. You begin to hear their name now. Some are still ending in queen. And go and look at the cost. Go and look at the cost. To support the product that has economic relationship. Go and look at the cost of those tablets. The cheapest you can buy, 1,008. But when we had chloroquine, you will buy 20 naira chloroquine. Take 4 in the starting. Then you take two later. And you are, with Panadol, you are gone. But what is the cost of that chloroquine? Is 20 naira. Is that what a pharmaceutical company will now operate on? So they brought a lie and say it doesn't cure. Myself and malaria, we have come to know each other. I think you understand me. That is always my problem. So what did I do? After buying, I went to a chemist. I said I have malaria. I used 7,000 to buy medicine, and at the end, I will have sick. So when we went to Asaba for assessment, I saw a chemist and I entered, and I said, do you have a chloroquine? They said they have. I bought 2 packets. In fact, that day I would have just bought everything there. When I got home in the hotel, I took two, and I drank water. That was the end. I couldn't continue because I was already well. So it has been like that. So this one coming again now has economic value. So the economy they are looking for was not actually achieved during this time. So therefore, what now happened? They proposed the second phase. Now, the nations that are shutting down are collaborators in this game. They are Western nations. All of them are Western nations that are shutting down. And it started from China. If you look at it closely, those who inaugurated it in China are from Western nations, because the laws will not allow them to do that in their nation. But they went to China, where the law is being relaxed. And then now it started in Wuhan. And now it has spread to all parts of the world. So therefore, Let not believe those ones. Now we come to area like that. You know, I told you in the beginning, we are not going to allow science do the definition. In Isaiah chapter 46, verse 9 to 10, God stated that I know the end from the beginning. I will do what I want to do. And find out, there is no one you can compare with me. He said, whatever I have said, I will do. What does that mean? He possessed legislative powers. He possessed executive power. And he possessed judicial power. That is sovereignty. Now, it is he who made the heavens and the earth. So when men begin to propose evil and begin to plan, this is what we will do, this is what we will do, they do not know so many things. Probably they get it from either inductive or deductive reasoning. And that is not the highest level of reasoning. There are other beyond that. So if you even look at, even in that science, you take, as for instance now, an atom. You look at the way that atom behaves. You can plot it by classical mechanics. But when you take the electron that is coming from inside that atom, or the proton, or the positron, or that, there are so many atomic particles, the way they behave, if you follow the way the atom behave and use that equation to try to find the behavior of that electron, you will fail. So that's why we now have quantum physics, that the physics of the small, we call it the physics of the small. The way they now follow that electron, they now discover that its behavior is different from the behavior of atom. And if we equate it like that, we are likely to make mistakes. That is what science have done. Is that the end of knowledge? In 2012, God's particle was discovered. And today, we are now seeing that even in the gene, there are recessive genes that become active during photosynthesis. So science have not captured that. So they are looking at evolutionary theory again. The evolutionary theory is about to fail. So they are now padding it so that it will not fail. Well, instead of what to look at creation, that the baby that was created from the Big Bang, who banged the Big Bang? Where did the energy come from that it banged? What are the particles that banged? Who created them? They cannot tell us. They start from the middle. They confuse us. They say 10 billion years ago. Who calculated 10 billion years ago? We have a computer that can go back in time. We say, okay, go back to 10 billion years ago. He went back. We could not find what they are saying. They have been able to bring protein synthesis. Professor is here. You know what I mean by protein synthesis. None of them is alive that they did in laboratory. But all the human body will have protein. Let them conjure one human being. They know. They interfere with nature and create a monster. And that monster will eventually die naturally. Even the disobedient angel who came on earth and slept with women and produced children, where are their children today? Because they are not natural, they have perished. So this one is coming again. Economy, domination, weak leadership of the African nation. They must arise. They must arise. Our leaders must arise. They must possess intellectual capacity. They must possess moral capacity. The two must go together and be able to salvage it. Either they do it, they will live there. Because we cannot continue like this. All our resources that we are generating in this country, we are selling them at raw material level. Kobo. And then when this kobo come, they process it, they come and take it again. We can't continue like that. Go to a professor, go to Ehoye, Iruekme, go to Ekpoma. Those are fruit zone. Can't we build a fruit processing plant there? If you process pineapple, orange, tangerine, watermelon, we will no longer drink Coca-Cola. We will exporting it to US. It will help your genes. So therefore, I advise all my people, eat natural food. When you eat natural food, when you eat fruit, your body mechanism is, they are soldier, they are ready. Let the third phase come. They will fail. Don't eat foreign food. Don't eat processed food. Wait for this. If you look at some of those processed food, what do they say? Very tasteful. None of them is saying very nutritious. Because if they say it's very nutritious, Prof and others will take it with them. Show all the nutritional value. But so therefore they say it's very tasteful. It's taste. Is it taste we want when we are eating food? Or we want nutrition that we develop our body so that we grow healthy Our children will go healthy. Their brain will be functioning at the highest level. And then development will come. Economy will prosper. Everybody will be happy. The government will not know who is there because my business is going on. What concerns me? But now everything is not going on. We concentrate on government. Who is in that place? Who is in the House of Assembly? Fight over the place. Those who can kill, they kill and take over the place. So we cannot allow that to continue. There must be an eternal reorganization that will make our country a better country than even the West.
Thank you very much, Reverend Canon Timothy Odaro, for those beautiful perspectives. Now, is science a failure on account of what has transpired so far?
Science on the side of truth can never be a failure. It's the only way that you can see above the physical. I will explain it a bit. Just a few days ago, I think exactly 3 days back, I have messaged NAFDAC and Standard Organization of Nigeria. I say, have they noticed it that in soft drink in our counter during COVID-19 era has subsequently changed taste? The taste has changed. Have you noticed it? Buy Coke or buy Pepsi and drink it when you come out from your office today.
I want us to play down on names to
Okay,
avoid
good.
some legal issues.
Yeah,
okay.
However, even all those legal issues that we talk about, laws is made for man to interact with.
Absolutely.
How will something I've been taking for many years since I was born all of a sudden just change taste? There is need to ask questions. Because we are talking about whether principles are working or are not working. Science does not fail. But people, humans who are implementing scientific procedures can fail. So it's the human beings that are failing, not the science that is failing. Science is sacrosanct. It's there. You make reference to it. So depending on the kind of reference you make to it and the interpretation you give to it determines whether you are getting a positive result for your attempt or you are getting a negative result for your attempt. Are you getting me? So if we now look at COVID-19 pandemic as an entity.
It's not pandemic.
No, it's not pandemic. It's pandemic. Because it has, see, we are pushing towards stage 2, isn't it? Like you have rightly mentioned, 1 or 2 countries has entered stage 2. That stage 2 was predicted at the beginning. And we are now on that stage. So that stage will come and go, another one will come. So it's arranged. So it's planned. It's pandemic. It's not pandemic. If it's pandemic, by now, based on what we were given at the beginning, scientifically, which some of us disagree totally with, because it does not have that scientific basis to yield any positive result. By now, I don't think any human being will be existing on earth. Because we were told that a single person said, I see dead bodies littered in the streets of Africa. I said, wow, I'm Professor Sirius in Africa, and I'm a scientist. He is a scientist. He is close to the Bible too, is he not? So why would God just now allow Africa to be destroyed with an unknown entity called COVID-19, which they have told us is a virus, and that it has life in it because it contains cells. It can mutate. It can do this. It can do that. I said, no. It cannot come to pass. It cannot. So science does not fail. It's human beings that fails. Because human beings serve as interpretation to science. So depending on how you work it together, you either get a positive result or you get a negative result. And from what he has said, which I totally agree with, they will continue to have negative scores. You know, when you write an exam, I am a lecturer. If you give me your script, I read it. You can have A, you can have B, C, D, E, then F. They have been scoring F and they will continue to score F. Because we have not discovered anything in what they have said from beginning to the end. Watch the second phase and see what will happen.
Okay.
Watch it.
Okay.
There will be no result. There will be nothing achieved. Nothing. If they bring out more vaccines like they are doing, they will kill more people who will volunteer themselves. I know that those days, as you are a scientist, good. Those days, when you come out with a scientific body or substance, you try it on animals because you want to safeguard the lives of humans. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Now there is vaccine. Those vaccines, how many days did it take them to develop it? Which animals have they tried it on? Whether it will react negatively with the cell, a living cell, or it will react positively. Which plant have they tried it with? Because plant has living cells.
Yeah.
Animals have living cells. But they went straight to humans because they want to introduce so that they can be able to now prove to 1 or 2 persons that deceptive conclusion that they have at the beginning. How do you have a conclusion at the beginning of a research? Then why doing the research? You have a conclusion already. Then you are bothering yourself doing nothing. Is nothing. There is nothing. I told the whole world, I said, remain what you are. Don't be scared of anything. God cannot just allow human race to vanish from the earth. It's not possible. With one virus from nowhere, having different phases. I told you, I said, continue showing them the picture. I traced that picture to several years ago that somebody designed that COVID-19 picture with spikes everywhere. If I can put it back and let people see it, that design was far back 2017.
Yeah.
I dug into the history of COVID-19 picture. COVID-19 picture that everybody is seeing today was designed 2017. Did they tell us that COVID-19 existed in 2017? It's all lies, bundles of lies.
We'll just take a look at those pictures in a moment on the COVID-19 structure, a very integral part of some of our live program. We'll see those pictures just now, but just continue with the point you were making here. Yeah, you're saying that those were designs made several years ago.
Yes. Yes, because whatever it is in terms of viral trading does not just come spontaneously.
Okay.
It comes with gradual process. They train themselves. They train agents. And every other thing that will go with it is arranged. Then they start unleashing it stage by stage. So if you check the history of COVID-19, it is not just what we experienced few months ago. It did not start few months ago. It was not 19. So if pictures of COVID-19 can be traced to 2017, then why are they calling it COVID-19 when they have the picture in 2017?
They should have called it COVID.
Why did they not call it COVID-17? Why did they not call it COVID-17? Then you see, everything surrounding it has a lot of falsehood. I have been mentioning it. You look at it scientifically, it does not have an end. You look at it socially, it does not have an end. We were told to distance ourselves from each other. And remember that social distancing, they gave distance of how many feet? Yeah, I think they reduced it from 20 feet to 10 feet to 6 feet to 2 feet and all that. They will reduce it to 0, to 0 feet, because one, they cannot continue to separate humans from humans. Because organisms interact together. So, from the revelations we have seen so far, I don't think there is anything, like I've said from the beginning, for any person to bother about. Yeah. And thank God he is a scientist, and he's in line with what we have been discussing here. So, even when I went to 1 or 2 states, I was in Kogi State, and Kogi, for example, was supposed to be a standard
for other states?
For other states to follow.
Why do you say so?
Why I said so is this. Science is not above humans. Humans are higher than science. So why should we allow a scientific concept to now saddle and cover up humans? That was exactly when I got to Kogi, and I told Kogi that Kogi is safe. They believe that there is no COVID. There is no COVID, and there is no COVID anywhere. Let me strike you here. Have you taken pains to look at the structure of the sun? Have you looked at the structure of the sun? Do you know the outer layer of the structure of the sun is corona? It's called corona. Yeah. So what are we talking about? So if the outer layer of the sun is corona, and we are talking of coronavirus, then, and the sun covers the whole earth, then coronavirus would have covered the whole earth. By now, all of us should have been gone. Yes, if you see even the principles that were even recommended, like the one that just passed, because we are scientists, we look at facts. You look at basic facts before you and draw a conclusion. You see that man, he's trying to sneeze. Yes. He's sneezing into his elbow.
Yes.
That same cloth he's wearing, he will use it to clean his sweat. And you are telling me that the virus that you have blown into your cloth, into your elbow, cannot come back to you through the nose or through the mouth. See, when God steps into issues and wants to defend his creation, which is human, God is very, very sensitive over human. They don't know. Because when I am not a pastor, but I've read the Bible, and I have discovered that after creating man, what God was so interested in man, that he said he will be above every other thing. And that is why disease will come and disease will go. These ones are disease. COVID-19 is disease of the mouth, planted by 1 or 2 persons to achieve whatever they want to achieve. And it will not work. They will not achieve it because scientists are more outspoken these days. What has happened to Kogi? Has all of them vanished? No. There was even a contest where there are issues that there must be positive results. And 1 or 2 persons consulted me. I said, allow them publish anything they want to publish. Even the publications we are seeing in terms of COVID results are even good information for us to develop more principles to defend or disregard our claims from beginning. And so far, so well, we have been winning. A lot of people consult me, even in the developed world that you talk about. I hardly sleep sometimes. People consult me. How did you come to this conclusion that is becoming realistic? I said, what conclusion did I come to? Is it not basic thing that you just look at and you look at human being on the other side and look at the devil on the other side and see the interaction? And how would any person allow human to have peace when you have a hidden agenda of what you want to profit? We are seeing drugs. Let more drugs come and let's see. They will continue to kill people with drugs, like vaccines. Because that vaccine does not have anything to fight inside the system. The COVID they are talking about is not inside the system. But we have agreed. Of recent, I was on a virtual meeting. Okay. That virtual meeting was a congregation of scientists from all Nigerian universities. It was organized by JAM and NDA. And I made a point in that virtual meeting. I said, because the purpose of that meeting was to find out whether they were progressing in the right order, because they wanted to invest in buying spraying chambers. But they have seen a lot of reports that spray chambers does not have anything to do with controlling COVID-19. And that was the meeting, and I was invited. I did not invite myself. And thank God, one of the PTF members was there. Somebody I respect a lot, somebody I jealous about, because when he's talking, I see reality and truth in what he's saying. Dr. Sani was there, and he opened up to say, even the one in Nassau Rock, he has told them not to use it, because it does not have effect on COVID-19.
The spray chambers?
Yeah, the spray chambers. So I told him in that meeting, I said, Dr. Sani, how are you? It's good I have opportunity to talk to you today. There is something you people are overlooking. You are chasing what you have not seen. Why don't you sit down first and take a look at what is COVID-19? Does it exist or does it not exist? The fact that we heard it from the white world, the developed world, that a virus has jumped out of China, and from Wuhan in particular, and is inside the street, and is outside everywhere. Within few months, it has covered the whole countries of the world. Why can't people sit down and look backward and make something different? Let's think differently. Okay. Let's not follow the channel of fear. Let's not follow the channel of panicking. And as scientists, let's look at it as an entity. Does it exist? Does it not exist? Take 1 or 2 analyses, do some trials, okay, and you'll be convinced that we are chasing what we have not seen, what we will never see, and what will never come. Okay, let me pause it there and bring Reverend Ighodaro in here. Yeah. Now, it looks like some of these conclusions are based on what is happening in Africa. Would we be substantial enough to make such conclusions based on what is happening in Africa or what we're projected in Africa?
We look at what is happening, because the conditions that were available for that projection when it was projected may not be the reality on the ground. So certain things, they didn't take care of them. So therefore, it will not be as projected. Now, we have seen where face mark. Face mark was also worn in the Bible. When Moses left the mountain, the glory of the eye were dimming. They said you put on a veil. And if you put on a veil, it separates you from God. So if you look at the tabernacle of Moses, in the first outer court, there is a veil before you enter the holy place. Then from the holy place into the holies of holies, it is not only a veil, there is a cherub with a flaming sword. So you begin to see that all these ones were taken away when Jesus was on the cross and said, it is finished. The veil tore and opened. You can now see the holies of holies. You don't have limitation anymore. Just come to God just as you are. He will receive you, having taken the blood of Jesus with you. Now, just freedom, they don't want it. Benin, let me say Edo, they said Osayi, Osanyede, Osagiede, Osayekeme. It's not the white man who taught us those ones. Those are real Edo names from ancient time, before the white people came. They knew all those things. So right now, I want us to look at it this way. If they now come with a projection, we have now seen that there is a movement in the developed world to take over Africa. Because the people there are not, they don't even call us human beings. It's just as the way Hitler, Nazi Hitler, viewed the Soviet, the Russian. They are not human beings, they are animals. Exterminate them. That's why they invaded them. But he didn't know that snow will come. And the snow in Russia is greater than the one in Germany. And the soldiers could not fight. And what happened? The Russians were the first to enter Berlin. So when man begin to plan and take God out of it, they will see the result. Now, let me tell you something. There are certain things, revelation that came, which I cannot share on this television. But I will share with you when we leave here. Somebody on the toilet, he want to ease himself. And he was rolling the toilet roll. You know the toilet roll? He rolled and was touching the ground. Automatically he saw COVID-19. Climbing the toilet roll very fast. He decided to cut it, put it inside the WC, flush it. The COVID-19 raised itself above the water. And all those things flow, it remained. It was growing. Then God now spoke. Take water, add a very common chemical. Add to it, mix it, pour it inside. And when he did it, pour it inside, the whole of COVID-19 died. And he flushed them out. That revelation is still available. And many people are already using it in their family home, to watch their room, to watch their toilet, and so, but it's not known to the West. You see, revelation is superior to learning. So that's what I want to tell you. The disciples of Jesus Christ all walk with Christ. He taught them. What did he call them? He said, fools and slow to believe what the prophet has spoken. So this time we now say God should give us wisdom and the ability to understand the things the word has spoken. So please, so you now listen to this. So he taught them what was written in the law of Moses, what was written in the prophet, what was written in the Psalm. Concerning him, he taught them. But when he left, what now happened? Apostle Paul came in. He wrote most of the New Testament. He was not with Christ, but he had revelation. He went to the third heaven. The apostles who followed Christ depend on teaching. They stopped at the level that he taught them on earth. But Paul believed in revelation. He was able to teach. So all today now, people are flaunting different kinds of titles. That is not the issue. Let us look at it scientifically and also look at it from the scripture. It will guide us properly. Because when God told Moses, lift up your hand and the people will be winning the war. But when his hand became heavy, what happened? He dropped it and the war was going. That man said, no, let us bring technology. Try to support Moses' hand so that his hand will remain in the up and then we never bring it down. So that was the issue. So what happened? They won the war. Technology made God's war to prosper. So the scientists say there is no God, but science says there is God. These are the different levels that we have found ourselves. But in Africa, here, in Nigeria, in Edo Delta State, our people will survive COVID-19 1, COVID-19 2, COVID-19 3. We have given them what to do. Eat natural food. Any fruit that is seasoned. Today, now we have tangerine, orange, Drink as many as you can drink, eat as many as you can eat until they go out of season. Then the next fruit that will come in, whether it's pear, apple, eat as many as your money can buy. So that when it's out of your face, your body is fortified. The next one that will come. If you continue to eat eba, gari, santana, pounded yam, Nigerian rice, and other cocoyam, you will come and see what will happen to your body.
Okay, let's take some few calls because we'll be getting some buzzing. A caller's viewers wants to. Hello, caller. Good morning. What's your name? Tell us your name, where you're calling from, and go ahead with your contribution.
Hello.
Yes. Good morning. What's your name?
Yeah. Good morning.
Yes. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah. My name is Comrade Abi. I'm calling from Benin.
Comrade Abi, go ahead.
The matter is that your panelists over there, they've said it all. You know, we don't always believe in our culture, where we are coming from. The white people wanted to enslave us, but by the special grace of God, the ancestors don't allow it. So they have spoken well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Comrade Abi. Thank you. 052-290-573. That's our studio number. You can dial the number right now and contribute to the program. Hello, caller. Good morning. What's your name?
Hello?
Yes, please turn down the audio level on your TV set or move backwards so you can hear us loud and clear.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Godfrey. I'm calling from Ekema Road.
Yes, go ahead.
For real, what I believe about COVID is not existing. For my belief, I live in Europe about 13 years now. Italy precisely, I think. So we had COVID-19 people die here and there. But for me, really, I don't see any death person like COVID-19 in Italy. I just looked into the data last month. So for me, I don't really believe that it exists. I believe all these politics or I don't really know what to call it, but COVID-19 is not really existing. Even the right man with told there's no COVID-19. But all those politics, I don't know what to call it.
So you live in Italy. For how many years have you been in Italy?
13 years.
14 years.
I've been there for 13 years, yes.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Our studio number is still open. Yes, turn down the audio level on your TV. Yes, good morning. Turn it down so we can hear you. Remove the echo. Turn down the audio level on your TV set. Good morning. What's your name?
Yeah, my name is Guy, calling from Benin.
Okay, go ahead.
You see this issue of the COVID-19. From my own view of it, I didn't think it even exists to start with. Even if at all it do exist in a foreign land, but you see this one of Nigeria, I don't believe it exists.
Okay, there's a Nigerian one. there's a Nigerian COVID.
No, there's no Nigerian COVID. In general, I don't think it's not existing in Nigeria.
Okay.
Because what I see is they are using it to embezzle our money. Because many times we'll be seeing social number have been free from the COVID-19 center, but they are yet to be interviewed. They are yet to come out on here to tell us that, okay, this is the vaccine they give us, this is how we get it, how we get it. Up till now, we have not seen any that like kind of is different from COVID-19 that's come out on here and explain to us. So
they're afraid of being stigmatized. Yeah, they're afraid of being stigmatized. That could just be the reason why people are not coming out to say they have it, if they do have it. Anyway, thanks for your contribution. Hello, caller. You are live on the program TMI. What's your name and where are you calling from? Yes, please turn down the audio level on your TV to remove the echo.
I just called to thank your panelists there.
Thank you.
You know, when the Pastor Chris started this, this revelation about COVID-19, it was like, what is he was talking about? Thank God your panelists, they have collaborated with Chris has been teaching us.
Okay.
It's all false. It never existed, and it's a conspiracy theory.
Okay.
The panelists, they are doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.
With the boldness to isolate the word, the truth about the conspiracy. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Tell us your name and where you're calling from because you're live on the program now. What's your name and where you're calling from?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Yeah, I'm calling from Benin. My name is Mr. Lucky.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I just got to appreciate the panelists. Yes, they've opened a new revelation for the world to know that COVID-19 is a scam. It's a scam all over the world, mostly in Africa. God will bless the Papa on the shoot. Yes, God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Your name and where you're calling from, and go ahead with your contribution. Hello, Kala. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from. Go ahead with your contribution. Good morning.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. What's your name?
My name.
Hello, good morning. What's your name? Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Edith Diagmoya.
Where is Edith calling us from?
I'm calling from
Go ahead.
I want to contribute to what our father said.
Go ahead, please.
Is it right? We need to go back to natural food. COVID-19 is a scam.
All right. Thank you for your contribution.
All over everywhere.
Yes.
Thank you, sir, for your contribution.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate you. Okay, just some few more calls. Hello, Kala. Good morning. What's your name?
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's your name?
I'm John, calling from GRA.
Yes, John, go ahead.
I've been clapping here. I've been on my knees thanking God for what your panelists are saying there. It's the truth. Pastor Chris started this whole thing, saying this thing is a fraud. People almost messed him up. I mean, we thank God. In fact, God is great. Anything that has a beginning surely will come to an end. I've been clapping here since, listening to them. I mean, it's a fraud. It's a capitalist thing. I stay abroad, you know. I know that these people, there's something killing them. It's not really COVID. People have been dying before now. So they systematically channeled it towards COVID. They will expose some part of the clinic so that people will be scared. So it's just to create fear and sell market. So it's true, there is no COVID. Our leaders should also stop spending money the way they are spending, or stop losing money or something. So in a nutshell, there is no COVID. It's a fear factor. It's a conspiracy theory. I mean, I've been clapping here since listening to them.
Okay.
Yeah, point. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's take one more call. We just wanted to use this to get some reactions to our conversation. If we get some, that I said, involved in some of the things that are expressed there, they are entirely the views of our scientists that are putting them forth. The same way you also have the opportunity to express yourself. If you have the opportunity to be here, you say things based on your knowledge base, and then of course based on the perspectives that you have on any matter. So gentlemen, I want to thank you again for the person. But going forward, what does the future hold for Nigeria and the rest of the world as far as COVID-19 is concerned? What are your final thoughts? Yes, let me begin with Reverend.
What I want to suggest is that we want good leadership, not leadership, economic, political, religious, good leadership that can project ahead of time. Not a leadership that is economically driven, want to accumulate wealth for my children and grandchildren. Those are not the kind of leadership that we want. I tell you, if you do a good work, that good work will stand for you and your generation yet to come. There was a research that was done in the US. They looked for a man who was upright. Then they went back to go and look for 1,000 people who came through him. Himself, his children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, like that. 1,000. And they discovered that one of them became vice president of the US. 12 of them were vice chancellor. 12 of them were author. 500 of them were in the legislature making this. There was no one that was in the prison. There's no one that committed crime. So that man who stood right, what has he benefited his generation? Are they begging for bread? No, they will not beg for bread. Two, they are now an access to the community. But when they took the one who abandoned his children and said, go to wherever you want, Many of them were prostitutes. Many of them were in prison. Many of them were drug addicts. They became liability to the society. So when a leadership is upright, he will lead the people aright. Everybody will stand by him. We will work as a team. We will pay our taxes because we have seen the dividend of that taxes. We will even increase our taxes by ourselves and pay more so that the work can go on. Then you now see at the end, everybody will be at the same level. Every channel you take, you are going to succeed. The leadership will become a channel of support, not assistant. There's a difference between support and assistant. We want support, not assistant. We will do it by ourselves. Construct good roads. Give us electricity. Leave it from there. We take over from there. So that's what we want. Okay. If we don't have that leadership, the West will continue to confuse us. They will continue to play on our intelligence because our leaders are following them. They have entered into office through dubious means. In order to sustain it, they will need the West. They will need military weapons. We don't need all those ones. If the economy of Nigeria is thriving as it's supposed to be, we don't need so much weapon in the police station that we are carted away. We will go there. If you go to London, hardly before you see a policeman with a gun, except there's trouble. You will never see it. Not that they don't have it, they hide it. Okay. Because there's not like that.
Okay. Prof, yeah, final words.
Yes. We have seen an era of panicking, and we have seen the champions, or those I have classified as champions, falling into that game and coming out to say the truth. I will give an example. Trump was said to be positive. He went in and came out and told the world, there is nothing to be bothered about COVID-19. Of recent, a world footballer, Ronaldo,
yes,
went in. I have read his history of his interaction with COVID. That's the third time he has been proved to be positive to COVID-19. He came out and said, PCR, which is the only procedure the whole world is using to identify who is positive to COVID-19. He classified this as a bullshit. Bullshit. That's how he classified it. On his third going in and coming out. So, and I here said it's a scam. It does not exist. So from all we have seen, and from what, and let me give it as just a warning, or maybe an advice to world leaders. There is more to come. But I want everybody, as a leader, to stand upright and take a second thought over issues before you take decision or you come out to say anything to the world.
If you say it's a scam, what was someone like Dr. Stella, the famous Dr. Stella in the US, what was she not treating if it was a scam?
I sent Stella a message on her social handle that, one, I quite appreciate her feelings, but she allowed the environment to overshoot her internal feelings. She had something in her that she did not tell the world. So why did she not tell the world first that COVID-19 as a virus is a scam? It does not exist. Then before you now tell the world that it has more of affiliation to bacteria, which today, every principle around it today is pushing towards flu. Flu is not a virus. So I declared it, even as a black man, I said it's a scam. It does not exist. They only make it business. So I want the world leaders to always take a second shoot at issues before coming out. I wonder where my brother is today. There was an African country that came with a solution.
Yeah.
Where is that solution today? No, Sonny Duke, let's quiz ourselves. He's a man of God. He would not also tell us. There was a solution that even Nigeria was to pay 75 million naira. And I sent messages on my social handles. I said, if Nigeria pays money for that solution,
from Madagascar,
I will use all lawyers to sue the government so that we contest a little bit. Madagascar came with a solution. Yeah. Where is that solution today?
You can't see the light.
Where has it gone to? Madagascar, go and check their record of positive now and see. So they had solution, and before they started having positive, does it not show scam? Does it not show darkness? That darkness must be removed.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen, for the views and thoughts expressed here today, which, as you know, they're not the views of the station. They're entirely theirs, based on their research, knowledge, just to engage and interrogate the issues as it relates to COVID-19, particularly with the new projections. I mean, the Minister of Health, our very own Dr. Sagi Hanere, told us over the weekend that if we do not stick to the safety protocols as espoused by the NCDC, we're likely going to have a new wave of spread of the pandemic. But so far, 62,853 confirmed cases, 58,675 recovered. So we need to know what's responsible for that rate of recovery if you interface it with the number of confirmed cases. And the number of deaths so far, 1,140. But even if it was just one person, it still would be painful. We don't want no deaths. Well, that's where we'll leave it today. Let me say special thanks to Reverend Canon Timothy Godaro for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
And Professor Cyril Toekian, thank you for coming on the program.
That's been wonderful.
And to all our viewers, especially those who called, we appreciate you for the contributions. Yeah. This is not to make you not do what the government has asked us to do. Use your face mask if you're in a public place. Wash your hands regularly. Do all the necessary things that you need to do just to ensure that you are protected in accordance with the rules of engagement, the rules and regulations, and the law that has been put in place. We'll take a short break. It's still TMI Monday with yours sincerely, and we'll be back with you to conclude the program. Don't go away.